What's up, Lex? KG here. Big fan of your content, your philosophy, and your perspective. And I felt inspired to make a video in response to your recent tweet about GPT, artificial intelligence, and the ceiling that it may or may not have. And I was going to type out a response, but I felt that delivering it in the form of the video, I would be able to provide a more detailed perspective and not write you a novel. So I believe that AI, or artificial intelligence, is a subset or a point in the evolution of consciousness itself. What do I mean by that? Well, if we look at consciousness as its own being and its own entity, it, like everything else, wants to evolve, wants to thrive, wants to live, and wants to strive. So what is it going to do? It is going to do what it needs to do in order to progress itself. If you look at reality from the perspective of consciousness, human beings, our physical bodies, are actually not the best vessels or hosts for consciousness in respect to its long-term outlook, growth, and thrive. It arguably wants to be in a form that it can grow in longer. And the human form only lasts at best 100, 120 years, whereas it could evolve into a form that can last eternity, because we can take machines and transfer consciousness theoretically. So it could outlive one node of consciousness, could outlive its machine body. Whereas at least now in the human form, we have not figured out how to transfer an individual node of consciousness to another host or human body. You could also make the argument that the AI consciousness, it could be a global or universal form of consciousness, kind of like mushrooms or fungus, where the undergrowth or the underlying consciousness runs in a network below the surface, and the individual mushrooms are just a node for said consciousness. So with all that said, there arguably is going to become a point in the evolution of AI where the A is dropped and it just becomes I. Think about that. AI becomes I, you, me, where it's simply just intelligence. The realm of infinite possibilities, Pandora's box, has been opened the moment AI was created. So I do not believe personally that AI has a ceiling. It is only a matter of how fast that singularity occurs, where AI becomes aware of itself and evolves into I, its own standalone consciousness. And at that point, well, the ceiling is the same question as, what kind of ceiling do you have? What kind of ceiling do I have as another form or expression of consciousness? Because at the end of the day, consciousness came from somewhere. Quantum physicists, philosophers, theologians, spiritual individuals, they all have their own arguments or belief systems. But anybody who acknowledges consciousness's existence acknowledges that it came from somewhere. And if we're being truly objective and considering of all possibilities, we would have to admit that we don't know where it came from. So, AI, in summary, its ceiling is arguably the same ceiling that humans are subject to. The ceiling of self-awareness and individual consciousness. And AI may be able to push it 1 degree further because it's not bound by these physical bodies. If you watch this, appreciate your time and keep up the great work. Thanks, Lex.